Okay, so is week two of linguistics, introduction to linguistics, and week one, if you haven't gone back and done the kind of um, introductory videos with the questions, please go back and do them. The one that introduces the class that was for before the class and the first week ones, just because there's a lot of stuff to help you to understand if you're coming late to the class. Um, the other thing is, I mean, week two is kind of, in a way, one of the hardest weeks because it covers two things that are, you know, two general areas. Like there's sound, the sound of language, phonetics and phonology, and there's grammar and syntax. And both of those, like, okay, so if you're majoring in linguistics, you're going to take an undergraduate class in phonetics, which is basically the sounds of language, uh, of a language, of language in general, etc. Phonology is more like um, a bigger scale about sound, how sounds work together, sound patterns, things like that. It becomes important in disciplines like historical linguistics and other areas, but it's connected to but separate. So technically, you're going to take if you major in linguistics, you will take a class in phonetics and you'll take a class in phonology. Um, Now, grammar and syntax, really, it's kind of they're mostly interchangeable kind of words, even though, you know, syntax is kind of a more sophisticated word for it, with some specialized kind of meanings and focus. But um, you know, what you're going to do if you're a teacher is you're mostly going to be teaching some basic things in grammar, and because of that, you know, if you're teaching ELD, English as a, for multilingual speakers or something. Um, you'll be teaching some grammar, but it'll be basic, kind of grammar. Parts starting from parts of speech and then working up to the phrase and to the clause level, independent clause. It could be a sentence, dependent clause. It could also has a subject predicate, but some reason it's dependent. Anyway, what I did, I put in like an exercise watching, you know, Schoolhouse Rock grammar and just as a refresher about the basic parts of speech and then the thing on subject and predicate. Because I mean, there's all kinds of sophisticated ways you can study syntax and grammar. Trust me, I took graduate courses in it, and I have my master's in linguistics. And what was almost, I mean, it was very theoretical program for an applied linguistics degree. And so that includes like building like syntax trees and stuff like that. I have some stuff going over it. I got three different videos and other exercises. I'm not really worried about that. I'm not testing you on building syntax trees. Um, I just want you, when you come up to grammar, you're not drawing a blank. Some of the stuff, so this will be the page for week two when I pull it up. I haven't put it up yet because uh, it's still the 16th, so I'll probably do it later tonight for the homepage class. Again, I put the midterm final study Kahoot, the link at the bottom. This is just the link for module week two. I kind of prefer if you go to modules or you go to home and you look at things, right? Um, so that's week one, and it'll be week two next week. I mean, tomorrow, tonight actually. So you go to modules, everything is week one, week two, right? That's how I organize things mostly. I will say, discussion board, I put a date on this. Now, if you find anything on, memes, GIFs, reels, I haven't put any reels up here yet or anything, but I will start putting some that have to do with linguistics. I would like you to share some, and I made an assignment like 20 points. If you want some extra credit, you find some cool stuff. posted up in there. I hope you all subscribe to Sun Michaud, Dr. Sun Michaud on social media. He really does a lot of amazing stuff. And he has a kind of, well, as well as like Lang focus and native Lang, and there's just a lot of stuff out there. Okay, so I don't want to make this too long. There are a couple things that come up so that I had emails about. One is this kind of, so if you look in the study guide, a lot of this midterm study guide. The midterm will be due June 30th, but it opens next week, right? So, um, it's good to start kind of studying. Okay, so all of these things, a considerable amount of them will be on the test. Next week, we're doing etymology or morphology, which is parts of words, and some of how do you build words and inflection and derivative and inflective morphemes, and I'll go over those. Well, I have material to go over them, and hopefully, sorry, derivational, not derivative. Um, anyway, yeah, you'll need to know Old English, which is before 1066, before uh, the invasion of William the Conqueror at the Battle of Hastings, takes over England, French-speaking former Norsemen from Normandy. Um, so before 1100, around that time, the ruling class speaks Norman French in England for a few hundred years. So you have a you have Old English, which is before 1100. You have Middle English, which is say 1100 to almost 1500. I mean, it doesn't like it moves much more gradually than that is, and but it's not like everybody all of a sudden changed in 1500 how they spoke. But 1500 you get from 1100 to 1500 you get Middle English, and you get Modern English from early Modern English 15 to 1700, and 1700 you get what we call Modern English, and there's all kinds of ways you can divide that up. Anyway, really quick, the IPA, what you need to know for the midterm, these will not all be on this, but A, this is your glottis. Now, I put on the test pharynx and epiglottis because the pharynx is the area here. That's the pharynx, the passage, while the epiglottis is just that flap of kind of flesh there. Okay, so C is the uvula, D is the velum, the soft area in front of the uvula and the mouth. E is the palate, the heart. Now, this is called behind the teeth. There's a thing called the alveolar ridge, and some sounds are alveolar. Your tongue touches there. There is so 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 F is alveolar ridge. So G is interdental. It'd be labiodental if it touches the tongue, like b b, right? The teeth are touching the lip. Those are labial dental, and bilabial b p, where it's just the two lips touching. So those are on your test, the midterm when that comes, right? I have a whole video going over the midterm. So, but second thing, okay, you know, words, these words, page, reach, weather, crowd, badger, mystical, wishful, fortune, 2 + 2 = 5. Um, that's true. And everyone loves cats, which is not true. Everybody should love cats, but they don't. Some people hate cats. Um, I'm not sure that this was on the study guide, so that's not cool. I have to do something about that. But I'm showing it here, so it's not like, oh my gosh, we never saw that. Well, it is there, but I don't think it was here though. I think I have a link. Yeah, I have a link, and then Longman canceled the link. So I put it in another place. Um, some people have been working ahead, and so there's some questions that came up with this. Yeah. So it says phonetics for, you know, I did kind of take these out so you could look at it, right? Like so again, um, if you can download the whole doc, right, or open it, it has some things that'll be on the test that are also in the Kahoot. You can play the Kahoot and you can get all the answers for these, right? So again, page, weather, reach, cancel, mystical, wishful, unusual, crowd, badger, fortune, and everyone loves cats. Now, I'm not sure I can just copy and paste um, that one because sometimes the images don't come through. But I have showed you it. Just let me just see if it works. So, let's see if this works. I'm not sure if it will. Oh, it did. Sorry. Sorry for not. Anyway, I'm not trying to throw any curveballs. I just want to make sure. Oh, I think what I did is I typed it out actual rather than it being an image. So yeah, okay. 2 + 2 = 5. That's true. Okay, so my thing with the IPA is great, but um, I don't think you should be held responsible for learning the entire IPA in an introductory course, which is kind of how the course was written as far as I inherited it. Um, so this is about the IPA, and it's a video of the history, and then these are kind of if you want to get in some depth, the vowel system, the consonant system. Now, the thing is, if you're teaching students, I'm not testing you on the place and manner of articulation too much. I mean, there's the place. I want you to know some of the places of articulation, right? So um, what is a glottal stop? Where does it come from? The glottis, right? And whatever. Uh, like oh, right? But um, I I don't. I want you to have some idea, right? And I'm not doing the manners like so you don't have to know the difference between affricates and fricatives and sonorants and things like that. You can do that if you want, but and you don't really have to know all the symbols if you want to play with the symbols and learn um, some of the symbols. That's really cool. Even in the announcements, I do have some. I have a site that will. Uh, this is just what I went over, I think. Yeah, it is. Oh, there's the labels. So there's a link with all the labels. Sorry, I didn't show that to you earlier. Um, okay, yeah. Interactive clickable IPA chart with sounds. So here, if you're really, you're kind of wondering, okay, how does this really work? The thing is, there's so many things that it can become too much. It could become overwhelming. And so you notice though, this is an E. So that's E. This is I. So, like some of these sounds, you know, I mean, all of it's very European biased. It came out of Europe. That's why that one little video about the history of the IPA is kind of funny. Um, but it's trying to cover all the sounds in all the languages. And, the thing is, I know some of the symbols, really know them. Some of them, I forget, and just depending on things. And I just want you to have some exposure. There are citation generators, or not citation, like there are IPA generators that'll do it for you if you're really interested in that. Okay. Uh, some of these are really old. Oh yeah. Um, announcements, but some are good. Anyway, so looking at the module, I don't want to make this too long. So you do have, phonetics. You have some questions on phonetics and what's what's a phoneme, what are allophones, things like that. Physiology of speech with some beatboxing is really cool. Phonetics, places and manners of articulation. Just taking some notes on these really. It explains everything to you pretty well. Um, okay, the IPA, those are extra credit, 5. 5 to 10 points for each video. This is the ones you have to know for the midterm. Overall study guide. Really cool accent expert gives a tour of U.S. accents. There's another one to this. I just didn't want to make it too many, like too many assignments or too much. Um, it's an excellent kind of. The guy's really good, and I have some other videos that he does that are about excuse me, about mm, like actors and their accents, and he just it shows you kind of practically how do phonetics and phonology come into play in the real world. And looking at American accents, I mean, most of us speak not just one accent. We speak or one dialect. We speak like what do you call it, an idiolect, where we're taking from, um, different influences upon our language use. For me, I'm from Michigan, and I that's the base of my English is being from Michigan, that accent. But I moved here when I was 15, and I have all these different kind of influences on my English here. And I don't really sound like I'm from Michigan except for a few words right now. Anyway, he's cool. Accent. Okay. Some more readings, phonology, crash courses, more extra credit. Um, yeah, actors' accents. And he's weighing out. It's very entertaining, I think. And, again, you can watch lots of other. Now, the dialect quiz, please try to find a way to do this. I know some of you, it's like, I don't know how people are like, oh, I used up all my free ones at the New York Times. I don't want you to subscribe to it, but if you can do it, it's a pretty cool. Oh, I swear I hate this. All right. I think you do have to log in. So I can continue with Google. Even if I'm not paying no money with these fools. But I really don't like the New York Times in a lot of levels. But um, no, I am not going to pay $1. Continue without subscribing. So do that. You should be able to take it, right? So what? Or continue without card? What? Yeah, home. I'm not. Okay, you know what? This is really. I don't really trust. So you ever do this and then you end up like forgetting to unsubscribe, and it's like all of a sudden it went to $96 or something, and I don't know. If you have a subscription, if you can do that for a week and then or cancel, okay, it's cool. It's kind of a cool experience because, you know, two or more people, like English is you. We teach it in standard English, like one person is you, two persons are you. It doesn't matter. But really, regionally, we'll say like, the Irish say yous, and yous came into like a whole bunch of dialects in the East Coast. Y'all, hella people use y'all. Y'all, something, something, something. But there's yous, the y'all, you guys. That's what people say in the Midwest, in Michigan. You guys, da, 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 da. You guys, yeah, 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 like I don't know. Yins, that's like in Pennsylvania. Um, anyway, I will excuse this if you're blocked. I'm not trying to just give me a photograph because it just did it to me. But try to show if you feel like you ain't trying to, commit yourself to that. I get it because I ain't doing it either because I don't trust those fools. But nah, I mean you can subscribe and unsubscribe. It's a cool experience. Okay, does grammar matter? Oh, the F word one. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. There's a lot of folk etymology around the F word, but meaning like people made up word origin things, but it's not really the word origins. We'll go into etymology a little bit more next week. Um, if you're morally opposed to cussing, you don't have to do that one. Just okay. Just say yeah, it goes against my. I don't like saying cuss words or something. Well, I don't know. Whatever you want. If you don't do it, I won't give zeros if you don't do this one. It's just interesting, um, in my opinion. Okay. Uh, does grammar matter? prescriptivism, descriptivism, grammar and syntax questions. This will be a whole bunch of questions that are kind of systematic. Really, uh, this one, University of Texas, Austin. I know some of you will be teaching ESL or ELD students. So if you're doing like, you can do the questions they have here. What I mean is really the review and reflect questions, and just post the answers for all those, and it'll be 30 points extra credit. I Because I'm like, hey, you could always use that resource, and you might want to go into more depth. The virtual linguistics campus really has some great stuff. I just put a little bit of it in, but there's all kinds of stuff here for the drawing, the diagram. Try to do it. If it's a pain, I'm not really too worried. I want you to answer the other ones at least. Now there's a lot. There's on morphosyntax, which usually we don't call it morphosyntax, but syntax one. They have one on syntax trees. I'm not super concerned about it, but just make sure that you make sure you do it. Same with this here. This is from Catherine Anderson's book. Schoolhouse Rock, parts of speech, subject predicates. Um, Here's the noun ones. You should be able to find all of the, like, look up the rest. Most people have basic Google, YouTube search skills. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, and then subject and predicate, schoolhouse rock grammar. And just take notes. Like, give me the basic definition for the 8 parts of speech, a basic definition of subject and predicate, and give me examples from the videos. That's all I'm asking for. Um, These are just for reference. This is 10 points. Again, syntax trees. There's some more study stuff. Uh, and then the midterm opens up. Um, Let me open up the midterm. Actually, I have the midterm, but the midterm opens up. What the heck? Oh, it moved. So week 2 to 3 are kind of a little bit hard, and as far as there's a lot of stuff that I'm exposing you to. I mean, basically everything can be made up. Um, I don't want you to worry about stuff. Um, so it opens up on Saturday at 7 in the morning, and it closes on uh, June 30th. You can take it as many times as you want. Um, I do have a video that goes over it in depth. So if you're like, what's on the midterm? Well, um, I go over all the questions, and um, I'm not making it a secret. I'm not trying to stress y'all out. If you just look real quick, you notice review for midterm, basically a cheat video. Watch it, study what I outlined, and you get 100% on the midterm and the final. Obviously, you have to study a little bit more in the final. But I think that's all I needed to cover today. Um, and I hope that should be more than enough, to make it easy on you. Uh, again, if anybody entered late and you have questions, just email me. Um, and I'm glad you're in the class. And just, pace yourself with the work. If I give you a 0, you can always make it up. Um, the 11:59 or something. Other than the midterm or the final, like those are not absolute. It's just kind of a recommendation. I don't close any assignments at 11:59 or something like that. Um, so you know, don't stress about it. I had people sending me, emailing me stuff like because they were afraid it was going to close. You don't have to do that. Just I would rather it's in the place because it's harder for me to sort it out through email than I have to find it. I mean, if we need to do that, we can do it. But you know, it's a lot. Don't stress. Don't give up. I'll work with you. But I just want to make sure that Well, hopefully everything is transparent and clear. If you have like any questions you think a lot of people ask, just put them here too, if you don't want to email, and I'll answer them. Okay. All right. Thank you.